Pack the stands pink. That's what we want everyone to do for all of October. We've got the gear for everyone. That's what everyone is here at East River for. Even quotes on the shirts being given away, all in support of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Everybody with the headbands taking a look at the East River and Lake Nona showdown. Two teams 2-0 in their respective district, in the same district, I say. 17-14, East River with the lead here as we get ready for the second half. And Brandon Seiler joined with Zach Aldridge right here. It's been a hot start that East River got out to. They went up 14-0 to start the game thanks to turnovers and solid defense they were playing. What did you think of the way they came out and started off?
They started off on fire, and they kept going. At one time, you seen that Lake Nona offense, they started to get going. They started to get a little rhythm, got a few penalties that backed them up. So, they got to come out and get something going this game. We said that somebody had to give. Mm-hmm. Lake Nona had a big-time offense. East River had a big-time defense.
Exactly.
And it just seems like East River defense has overpowered the Lake Nona offense. So something had to give today, and in the first half, it was the Lake Nona's offense.
Lake Nona tried to maybe create a spark early on, going forward on a fourth down, but the East River defense stood stout and got the turnover on downs. The very next play was Tyler O'Hara hooking up there with a wide open Jose Garcia. That put the Falcons on the board, first up 7-0. Then Michael McFarland now looking to pass. Uriah Rajkumar had other plans, took it back to the crib for the touchdown. Then just like that, East River up 14-0. Lake Nona, they finally did answer though. You see Michael McFarland hooking up and getting them deep inside the 5 with the Anthony Queeley catch, and then McFarland running it in for the touchdown. That made it 14-7. But before we got into the half, it was Aldo Barahona hitting only his second field goal of the entire season to make it 17-7 as we got into the half. And it's been really interesting because Lake Nona's kind of refused to punt the ball. And one thing that's kind of hurt them is those turnover on downs and those turnovers. If it wasn't for that, their defense has kind of stopped East River. When you look at the numbers, nothing really stands out at you. 32 yards rushing, 67 yards passing, but it's those turnovers that's really hurt Lake Nona.
Yeah, Lake Nona shows that they have a lot of confidence in their quarterback, a lot of confidence in their offense, and hopefully in the second half, that confidence will pay off. In the first half, not so much because they were getting stopped on fourth down. They were having turnovers on down, but they're going to come in there. They're going to still stick with their confidence and going for it on fourth down. Hopefully it pays off for them in the second half.
The East River defense has been stout to this point, and it'll be interesting to see if they can keep that up. I know Andy spoke with head coach Anthony Paradiso of Lake Nona to kind of find out his thoughts on what was going on.
Y'all, it is exactly what you are saying. Turnovers, that's the name of the game and the reason that Lake Nona is down. When I was talking with Anthony with Paradiso, he says they're just giving them the game right now and that they are playing horrible. Those were his words. He says the thing is East River hasn't done anything to beat them. It's all about Lake Nona beating themselves. That's the message he's been stressing to the guys as we are still very much in this game. 17-7 is the score right now. They haven't been able to capitalize too much, and Lake Nona still feels like they can get back in the game. And when I asked him about his quarterback, Michael McFarland, he says he is not fazed. That comes with playing quarterback is, finally getting that interception in the season. And he expects Michael to be able to get back out there and lead Lake Nona to the win.
Thank you very much, Andy. It's an interesting thing that you mentioned with Lake Nona and feeling like, that they're kind of giving the game away themselves. Their one loss that they had on the season so far, Michael McFarland threw an interception. That was in the Boone game. They lost 13-8, Lake Nona's only loss of the year. And Coach Perry so kind of said they had too many mistakes. They didn't execute, kind of things that are happening right now in this game. They just couldn't score, which is what they're struggling with so far. McFarland, he's been kind of streaky in the game so far in this one, kind of making connections here and there, and then just that interception is what really hurt them and kind of really swung the tide for them so far in this game.
A lot of coaches try to come out and tell your team that you're beating yourself, and they have a lot of confidence in this Lake Nona offense. But I have to look over the opposite side of the ball and see this East River defense that are playing lights out. The secondary is all over these receivers. They're deflecting balls, they're getting balls out, making them fumble, stripping the ball, all in the backfield. So I think this East River defense is making things happen, and that's what's stopping this Lake Nona offense from prevailing.
East River will get the ball first as Lake Nona received to start the game. One other thing about that Lake Nona offense, McFarland came out hot to start the game, opened up 4 for 4, picking up 50 yards, but then it was kind of those next few series of the game when he then threw that interception and went 3 for 11. Kind of a little hot and cold is what McFarland has been so far in this game, but it is East River to start off with the ball up 17-7. We'll see who they start with out on QB. They had the rotation between Serwan Brown, the more Wildcat type QB, and Tyler O'Hara, who throws for them. Looks like they have O'Hara under center to start this one off. Already has a touchdown pass to his name, and he's in the gun, takes the first snap. Runs that one right off, with a few yards picked up there by the Falcons.
Just picked up a few yards on that play. Defensive line from Lake Nona, they're going to keep doing what they're doing. They've pretty much stopped this East River offense up front from running the ball.
Efficient night so far for O'Hara. He came into the game completing less than 50% of his passes, 29 for 67 with 6 TDs and 3 interceptions. So a good coming out party kind of for him tonight. And it's interesting about that because Coach Straff has said that O'Hara is really progressing as the season goes along. He's becoming more consistent, being able to hook up on some of those short passes. And we've seen some of even the longer variety when we've gone to that wheel route and hooked up with Jose Garcia a few times. So a guy who's kind of challenged by Serwan coming in at QB and getting a little bit more action. And since then, O'Hara's really stepped up his game and improved. They send Garcia out in motion. O'Hara looking for a man. That one's hung up in the air once again, but thankfully for East River, once again, not an interception.
There you go. Lake Nona comes out of the half on defense. They come out of the half and get a stop, get a 3 and out, and is going to be able to put the, here you go, you see he drops back and he throws it, just not able to bring it in. The guys from the defensive backfield were right on him as soon as he touched that ball.
The punt team on for East River, a quick 3 and out like Brandon just mentioned. Anthony Manning, the deep guy, as Barahona gets it off cleanly. Had some solid punts earlier. Will let this one bounce. We'll take an East River bounce and get inside the 25-yard line. So East River defense will trot out onto the field after that 51-yard punt. So a nice leg being shown off from Barahona so far tonight.
That is impressive. I mean, you think you get a quick 3 and out, and you get East River off the field, 3 plays, you think you're going to put your offense in great field position. Here comes a 51-yard punt and puts you all the way back on basically inside of the 25. That's just great special teams by East River.
The Lake Nona offense has struggled, only 215 yards so far tonight, on pace to get to that 400 mark, but the yards they've picked up have been kind of spotty and in different spots with only 7 points to show for it on the scoreboard as they hand this one off with Chris Smith, who's fumbled 2 times already tonight.
You know, Lake Nona just got to get something going here coming out of the half. I mean, they've gained yards. They got 215 yards. They've had successful plays, but the penalties continue to back them up, and they are at the wrong time. They
go to Smith, and he goes up the middle, takes the contact, stays on his feet, gets inside the 50-yard line. Solid run to start off the second half from Chris Smith.
Chris Smith put 2 hands on that ball. He had it protected the whole time. And when he got to a defender, he plowed over. You'll see him just come straight down here. 2 hands over the ball, and boom, he makes that contact and almost comes out of that tackle and almost breaks it.
19-yard run there as Josh Holland eventually brought him down. McFarland back to pass, unable to have a connection there. Flag on the play.
Seems like we're going to get a pass interference call. It's a tad bit early.
Are you kidding me?
Pass interference on the defense.
Brandon
15 yards
spot
to
on
previous
there.
spot. Results in a first down.
Ball's in the air. We can go get it.
Coach Paradiso in his 6th season was a quarterback at Colonial, put up solid numbers, 2,263 yards passing, 20 TDs, 153 for 285. That was in 1994. A solid season there for Paradiso. Knows how to work with QBs. He wore number 8. Michael McFarland wears number 8. All the QBs at Lake Nona just happens to seem they always wear number 8. Chris Smith there. with the carry.
It's interesting because it seems like East River defense had him in the backfield right there. Somehow he was able to get 4 or 5 yards out of that play, just stand behind a blocker and wiggling his way up the field.
Slowly but surely, a drive that started at about the 25-yard line now sees Lake Nona at the 30. Michael McFarland with Chris Smith out to his left. Flanked by receivers on both sides, looking back to pass. A push and a shove off, and a great catch there. Alex Marshall bringing it in, touchdown.
Wow.
The Western Kentucky commit making his stamp and presence be known in the game.
Lake Nona needed that coming out of the half. They put together a drive. They started inside of the 25. He was able to just drive it all the way down.
Solid pass. It kind of the ball kind of held up in the air, and just the body control and the route running of Marshall able to get behind the defense and waltz into the end zone.
Just see McFarland just drop it right in the breadbasket right there. Alex Marshall was able to bring it in and waltz in the end zone.
That kick able to sneak its way in through the upright. So McFarland with his first touchdown pass of the night. 3-point game here. Lake Nona comes out and answers in their first offensive series of the second half. Make it a 3-point ball game. Andy has more.
Well, Zach, you were talking about that number 8 and how every one of Paradiso's quarterbacks have worn it. He says it has nothing to do with the fact that he actually wore number 8 back when he played quarterback. I mean, you could buy that or not. However, it has become a big to-do at Lake Nona. When I spoke with Michael earlier this week, he says he dreamed of being able to wear that number 8 after he played behind Tucker Israel for all those years. He finally has the opportunity now, but he does have to share that number with somebody else on the sideline. Who's that? Well, Anthony's son. Anthony Jr., 10 years old. He's the ball boy. He also sports number 8 on the sideline, and he wears it when he plays baseball as well. It's the number 8 family connection there.
Thank you very much, Andy. And you mentioned how the younger Paradiso plays baseball. Coach Paradiso really wanted his son to wear number 3 for Babe Ruth because Paradiso is a big Yankees fan. As the big touchdown return there, kickoff taken back by Uriah Rajkumar. What a night for the senior.
He's having a great game, and this is a big run. He's able to find the crease on a short kick, find the crease, get up the field, make a move on the defender, and get out here and race to the outside. You just see he just starts slow, bim, picks up a couple blocks, boom, puts his foot in the ground, makes a move. That's a great cut to the outside. Then he's just off to the races, able to get inside the 30-yard line.
Rajkumar picking up 58 yards on that kickoff return. Of course, already had that pick 6 of his name earlier in the game, so being able to kind of put his stamp in all 3 facets of the game. They go with Brown at QB. He'll take the draw up the middle, tries to get out to the left, down the sideline. A positive run there for Brown. That'll put up his average of the night. Was averaging only about 3 point something a carry.
Yeah, Brown got two pullers from the right side, get them around. They just kicked out the defenders. He was able to make that quarterback power into something special. I mean, he gets out there and gets the first down. So it's like that kickoff return kind of swings the momentum. You can just feel it in the air.
They stick with Brown after he moved the chains on his previous run. He goes and throws and hits it out wide to number 15, Bryce Weir. Only the 7th pass all season for Brown there. Had completed 50% of those, so now 4 and 7 to raise that completion percentage a little bit. So a rare sight there, seeing Brown throw the ball more often than not. He's in there just to show off that explosive power that he has. Tyler O'Hara in back at the QB position now.
You see Bryce Weir, who you threw it to on the last play. He's 125 pounds, but quick.
That was the first reception all season long for Weir. O'Hara handing this one off to number 14, Jose Garcia. So now that East River's into the red zone, you can see the offense kind of struggling a little bit to kind of move that defensive line of Lake Nona. Some solid size on the D-line. in their 3-4.
You just get the feeling that East River has to put this in, has to get some points here because that Lake Nona offense looked like it was getting going on that last drive.
They go Sawan Brown for the Wildcat look at QB. 3rd and 8. East River clinging on to a 3-point lead here in the 3rd quarter. Brown takes a snap, waits for a few blockers, doesn't have much doing, gets brought down from behind. That will not be enough for a 1st down.
You see on that play, the defensive line from Lake Nona just got pushed on the right side, pushed them so far in the backfield. They tried to run that same quarterback power, but the pullers couldn't even get around because there was so much penetration on that right side. That's a good job by that Lake Nona defensive front.
So after kicking only 1 field goal all season long entering the game, Aldo Barahona is now on for his 2nd one of the night. Hit the first one to make it 17-14. The senior with a 29-yarder is trying to sign off on the left hash. Hold is down, kick is up. That one looks like it is good. So Aldo Barahona, golden. Showing off the leg tonight, punting and kicking, put 3 more on the board. Solid for East River. They needed to at least get something on the board getting down here as we get into our first water break of the 3rd period. But Aldo Barahona putting 3 points on the board for the Falcons, make it 20-14. We'll see that Lake Nona offense when we get back out here. The last time we saw him, McFarland hooked up with Marshall. We'll see if it happens again. Welcome back to East River High School, the home of the Falcons and the home of the first-year head coach Colin Drafts. He's looking on as his team is up 20-14 after that field goal to put them up by 6. Drafts in his first season as a head coach trying to turn around the program that last year went 1-9. Already seeing positive things happen for the team. Said they kind of needed a whole new culture change. One thing he really wanted to bring in is a new sense of energy and give the guys accountability, give them a lot of new, reinforcement and make sure when you do something, you've got to get it done. They got into the weight room in the spring and saw a lot of good things. He said one of the best signs for them was in their spring game when they faced Astronaut. They won 31-0. He said that was huge, showed what they were doing was working. He's not surprised at all by where they are, sitting here at 3-2 on the season and 2-0 in the district and looking and fighting for a playoff spot to just appear in the playoffs for the 2nd time in East River history is what the Falcons are trying to do here under Coach Drafts, who goes for the onside kick, and it looks like Lake Nona is able to get under that one. Ethan Johnson.
Wow, that was a gutsy call and a great call. They almost executed this onside kick. He kicks it. Usually these balls get one good bounce, and that one just kept rolling. You get a good bounce right there, and it's able to go up, and you're able to recover that thing. It was only one guy over there, and that was Ethan Johnson, and he came through for his football team by recovering that football.
So a little gamesmanship on both sides of the special team variety. We saw Lake Nona go for a fake punt earlier. The East River was able to snuff out and stop, and now East River going for that onside kick. Just one little bounce, like you said, Brandon. That would have been the one that caught me off guard for certain.
It did. It caught me off guard too. I didn't think that was about to happen. That was good.
McFarland going out with a bubble screen there to Brad Masari. Masari cuts it left, cuts it right. Flag flies in.
I think they're going to get Anthony Queeley out there on a hold.
Coach Paradiso looking on the Nike gear. Lake Nona sporting.
Holding on the offense. 10 yards to respond to foul. Remains 1st down.
Chuck Ballman with the call there as our head referee for tonight. Lake Nona, their last time out here, the offense looked nice. It's something that we hadn't really seen all game long. They kind of stepped it back up, and you see those penalties, 7 for 50 yards. That's one of the reasons why Coach Perry said they're beating themselves. They are struggling with the turnovers, with the penalties, reflecting itself in the scoreboard to this point right so far in the 3rd quarter.
Exactly, and I mean, last drive, they had a successful drive, and they avoided the penalties. They avoided backing themselves up, and it just seems like right now they just came and they just got in the same situation. They have a positive play, but they got to back themselves up 10 yards.
McFarland there with the QB keeper on first down. The signage of all the play calls being called in right now on the Lake Nona side. They have a solid coaching staff full of quite a few quality control guys as well. Make sure they get everything right here. 3 wide out to the right. McFarland hooks up there underneath for Anthony Quealy, but not to be held on to.
It looked like that was going to set up to be a big play. Whenever you get the defensive line all coming to the quarterback on a screen play, you know that you got something.
3rd down here. At the bottom of your screen is Quealy, the leading receiver on the team. Excuse me, that was number 5. Quealy in the slot position, making the connection. Doesn't look like it's enough for the first down, though.
Yeah, they're going to be forced to punt this. They got about 10, 11 yards to go for a first down here.
So we might see the first punt tonight, the second time that they will at least line up in punt formation. First time we saw it, they went with the fake. And this time they do kick it off. Caught in the air by East River. Flag flies in. 23-yard punt.
Got another penalty flag down. Might back him up.
This one will push East River back.
We got a block in the back.
During the return, a block in the back on the return team. 10 yards for the spot of the foul. First down.
Tune into Your Sports tonight for Recruiting Central every Thursday and Friday starting at 6 p.m. Our experts across the state break down the top prospects from the Bay Area and Central Florida. Whose stock is rising? How does a commitment impact your favorite college team? It's Recruiting Central on Bright House Sports Network, your home for high school sports.
Let's see if East River can get something going right here on this drive.
They start with Serwan at the QB position. Got a few blocks and tucks it back out to the right. Stays on his feet at the 40, the 50. Tucks it to the right. A solid one, the best one of the night for Serwan Brown. No flags on the play. Fizz picking up the yards.
Serwan Brown just got a crease right here, and you can tell he put his shoulder pads down and got through that hole in a hurry. He gets a puller coming around, picks up a block, able to make a guy miss, breaks a tackle in the secondary, and he's off to the races.
40-yard pickup there by Brown. And now they come with O'Hara at the QB spot, and he will hand this one off to Jeremiah Golston.
It's good when you got a guy that's a running quarterback. He goes for a big run, and you can just come in with your next quarterback that already plays in a rotation. He doesn't miss a beat. Now they got Brown back on the field.
Waiting for the play here is Brown. Takes the snap, fakes it off to Golston, keeps himself, puts his head down and does enough. Looks like to pick up that first down.
Brown is a big body too. I mean, at 6'3", 205. I just told you I played middle linebacker. I was 6'3", 199. So he's a big guy, big high school guy coming through that hole, lowering his shoulder.
Third and 4 for Brown. We've seen him throw one time tonight. Let's see what we see this time as we're approach 3:20 left in the third quarter. He holds us on to himself. Somehow able to avoid a few guys. Look like he's about to get swallowed in the backfield. But enough vision there from Fizz to pick it up.
Looks like this is just 4-down territory. This is right in that area. This is that gray area where you really get nothing out of punting the ball, and you can't make a field goal from that far out. So this is that area where you got to go for it. It's 2 yards. Just got to get it.
Seems they'll keep Brown up there on the field. Coach Drafts wants to talk this one over, calls the first time out of the second half for East River. A crucial moment here, facing a 4th and short with his team up 20-14. He can put 7 on the board here, you know, kind of stretch this into a 2-point game here.
Yeah, you definitely want it in the 2-score category. I mean, even if you can get a field goal out of this thing, it pretty much makes it a 2-score ball game, you know. So you got to get points. You got to get points on this drive to feel comfortable about yourself, especially after that Lake Nona got going on that first drive out of the half. You know, when you see an offense get going like that, you got to put points on the board.
Lake Nona was a team that was ranked earlier in the season, but after that loss to Boone saw themselves fall out of the top ranking. Still Cocoa and Mainland up there at the top at 1 and 2. A shame we didn't get to see them play last week Friday due to Hurricane Matthew, but a good spread of teams. We'll see Jones face off on our game of the week later on this season. So some good teams and good games, the ball happening. A lot of teams in Orange County playing tonight with the schools being off tomorrow. OC University and Merritt Island joining the rankings this week after previously not being in the rankings. Still 4th and 1, 2:42 left here in the third quarter. East River up 20-14. Fizz Brown in at the QB position in the Wildcat spot. He'll hold on this one, look for a blocker, gets hit in the backfield, but tries to reach out there to get a favorable spot, and we'll see where they put it to see if it's a turnover on downs or good enough for an East River first down.
This is going to be close. They do have to bring the chains out for this one.
Got turned around very quickly after running towards the line of scrimmage and kind of had to try and backpedal his way and reach for that marker. Looks like we'll have the chain gang come out.
Going to be a tough one. Interesting enough on this play, there was no puller, so they just got the ball, ran a dive play with the quarterback. So everybody in the whole stadium knew that it would be a run. They wasn't trying to hide the fact that it would be a run. It was just, that was just power on power football.
Instructions being given. Great camera work we've had all night long by our entire crew here. They stretch it out, and it will not be just short. And it will be a turnover on downs. Inches away from a first down.
That's a big stop for the Lake Nona defense right there. They get the offense back on the field, stop it from going down, because basically if you get the first down there, watch him as he just comes straight down. He's pushing, he sticks the ball out, but that's a good spot by the referee too. Great spot, good job by the referee on that play, right on top of it. That's a big stop for this Lake Nona defense. Get that offense back on the field, let them put together a drive like they did. I'll tell you what they have to do. They have to drive this ball down the field, and they can't shoot themselves in the foot. They can't have the little sloppy penalties, and they can do the same thing they did in that first drive.
Apopka and Wekiva tied at 24 in the fourth quarter. We mentioned how there's games going on tonight all over Orange County with there not being school tomorrow.
East River defense, though, continues to be strong, continues to be stout. That running game isn't getting anything with them. That time, that was Jamal Valentine in the backfield, wrapping up the quarterback in the backfield on that play.
Captain McFarland on 2nd and 10, looking to pass, looking out to the left, the lefty hooking up there, going up and getting the ball is Alex Marshall, but it drops down incomplete. The flag on the play.
When you judge just from the player body language, it looks like that's defensive pass interference. Right here, you see he just puts the ball up. Guy goes up and gets it. Ooh, it looks like he was in on that play. Looked like he came down with it.
The initial call was an incomplete pass.
Pass interference on the offense. 15 yards from the previous spot. And second down.
Wow, so it's on the offense. Pass interference on the offense on that play, so that'll back them up. Once again, a little bit of the same thing. Lake Nona gets a penalty, backs themselves up, and then now they have to fight from 25 yards out. But as you can see, right there, that separation of the arm, it wasn't much, but you know, the push. I'm a defensive guy, and I still don't like that one right there.
McFarland looking, they go the inside screen once again. Solid tackling there to bring down Brian Dorgle.
This East River defense is impressive. I mean, you run a screen right here, you think that all the defensive linemen are going to come up, chase the quarterback, but no, they redirect, put their foot back in the ground, and they're all meeting at the ball on these screens.
Dr. Phillips rolling to victory over Freedom, 38-0. Freedom team has had a little bit of trouble so far this season. Third and long here, super low, for Lake Nona. We're under a minute left in the third quarter. Lions down by 6. McFarland with 3 out to his right. The lefty looking. Time will try and keep this one himself. Leveled and flipped in the air. Viz Brown in on the action as well. O.J. Skinner.
Jeremiah Golston came up and put a lick on him here. You watch it. Goes down low and just takes his legs from up under him. Good tackle by Jeremiah Golston on that play. Just flips him around. Great contact.
So the punting unit will come out for the Lions. We'll see if this one go down into the fourth quarter.
It's still the East River defense that's been the showcase of this game. They've been everywhere. They've been swarming. They've been meeting at the ball, penetrating in the backfield. They are doing it all.
As we get ready to go to the fourth, East River hanging on to a 6-point lead. Lake Nona came out fast to start the third quarter, and they scored. But the defense of East River responding once again to force a fourth down. They'll get ready to take the ball on homecoming. Don't go anywhere. Stay home. We'll be right back.